Hello, welcome back. The video topic today is effects of fasting on our body. So most of the people do fasting for weight reduction or sometimes for religious purpose. So whatever the reason, what are the effects that can happen in the body? So first and foremost, there are more advantages or most positive things about the fasting of that, and of course it has certain side effects. One of the main thing you have to say is once you go for fasting, probably you may get immediately, if you go for fasting, you may get headache, you feel tired, all these things can happen. And if it's a prolonged fasting, you're going for a weight reduction, and if there is a fasting means the diet, the less food intake, so you may get constipation. So plus if water intake is low, again constipation. On long term, any weight reduction, when you lose weight, there will be a hair fall will be there, and the skin becomes, after losing weight, your skin becomes very dry, easy to get damage or infection. These things you should understand. And fasting, what are the effects of fasting on our body? First and foremost, our liver has a glycogen, which is a stored form of glucose for 24 hours. First 24 hours, most of the time you don't have to worry, but there is an emergency supply of glucose from the liver by the form of glycogen. So even before that point of time, by 18 hours to 16 to 18 hours, your body starts secreting growth hormone. Growth hormone, most of the people think for the growth. No, of course, even after 18 years, the growth hormone is very important, especially if you have a tissue repair after the surgery, or there are old cells to be repaired. The growth hormone is very important. Any healing, any tissue repair, growth hormone is very important, and growth hormone is increased by your fasting. And exercise is another good thing. Your growth hormone increases, and also good sleep, good 7 hours of continuous sleep. These are three things that can improve your growth hormone. The good thing about the growth hormone is it's a tissue healer. It's just a healer. Number two, it's an anti-aging. It has an anti-aging property. So very important thing. So by 18 hours, 6 to 18 hours, your body starts secreting growth hormone. Not only that, your body starts producing, after 24 hours, there is something called autophagy happens. What is that? This autophagy is nothing but body itself cures itself or digests itself, the waste things, especially if you have a waste protein or old tissues. These things will be utilized by the body by fasting, especially around 18 to 24 hours. And especially suppose you have unwanted protein, especially the brain, it digests that, so the brain cells becomes more rejuvenated. So the proteins in the body are bad proteins, the old proteins are all digested. Not only that, by 24 hours, your body starts cleansing the gut, the old bacteria, gut bacteria, especially the bad bacteria is all destroyed, and self-healing, anti-inflammation action. By 24 hours of fasting, your body does the anti-inflammation process, mainly because of ketone. Why? After 24 hours, there is no glucose available from the liver. So the body has to turn to the liver, and it has to break turn to the fat, and it has to break the fat. So when it breaks the fat, free fatty acids and glycerol, they form ketone. Ketone is a wonderful molecule, a wonderful thing that can give you efficient energy compared to glucose. This is an efficient way of giving energy to the cells in the body. Number one. Number two, it also increases the antioxidants in the body. So the antioxidants, you probably it has anti-cancer properties, it has anti-inflammatory properties, it has a tissue healing. So all these things starts happening around 24 hours. It starts there and it goes after 48 hours to 78 hours. It's all in the peak. So your body produces more ketone, so the body gets fuel by breaking the fat, and also increases the anti-inflammatory antioxidants very efficiently. So this gives good relief even to the heart and to the brain. So the brain and heart are rejuvenated because of these ketones and fasting. Okay, then after 72 hours, the benefits of fasting is more, but prolonged fasting, most of the time, and if you're all of a sudden you go for the fasting, and it's not advisable all of a sudden to go for this kind of fasting, because always start with maybe 4 hours fasting, 8 hours fasting, then increase to 12 hours, 18 hours, the warrior diet kind of, 18 hours of fasting and 6 hours of food. This is the best way. Go slow, because suppose you have a diabetes, or if you have some other health issues without knowing, or even if you know all those things, go get see your doctor, and by his advice you can go for these things. And after, usually on a prolonged fasting, your cholesterol level, LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol level, LDL, can increase. So that is why most of the time when we go for a lipid profile or the cholesterol test, don't cross more than 8 hours of fasting. If anything more than that, your LDL level will be abnormally high. See, the cholesterol, though we say bad cholesterol, they are not like that. Cholesterol is very essential. The reason being, most of the cell lining, the cells, they're all, the covering, one can say, that cell lining is made up of cholesterol. Not only that, they are the one who transport the vitamin D. They are very essential for vitamin D metabolism and hormone formation. So cholesterol is very essential. Need not be always bad, but fasting also increases your LDL. So this can be little beneficial. Suppose your LDL is increased for pathologically, that is different. But if it is increased because of the fasting, then it's a good effect. After some time, after 24 hours, when the fat is starts metabolized, then body starts producing gluconeogenesis from the liver. That's called body takes the protein and converts into carbohydrates, like into glucose. That's called gluconeogenesis from the amino acids. So this can, on a prolonged basis, suppose you are going a fasting and your protein level is very low, what will happen? Body's the building unit of the body. The building unit of the body is called protein. Protein is very important. Suppose there is less protein, then body will break your muscle to take the protein on a prolonged basis. So always when you are fasting, keep your protein level very high, so that it won't break your own muscles. If it starts breaking your muscles, you feel tired, bone pain, body pain, all these things can happen. So on a prolonged basis, when you go for fasting, take good protein as well as water. Water is very essential. So fasting, if you go suddenly, you may get headache, something called stress headache kind of thing. On a prolonged basis, if you go for fasting and losing weight, probably you may have a dry skin infections, constipation very importantly, and hair fall. These are things you should be prepared. And the other thing is, suppose you're going for, your protein intake is very low and you're going for fasting too many days, then your body will break your own muscle to take the protein. So these are things you should know. Fasting has so many good things, and the bad thing, if at all we ask, probably if you do without a knowledge and go for crash dieting fasting, these can be little deleterious to health. So take care. Thank you.